The UEFA Champions League returns once again this week, with some titanic ties due to take place. The recent international break, which saw several key players from top teams left in the competition pick up injuries, has somewhat changed the complexion of some of the ties, making them harder to call. But which four clubs will progress to the semi-finals and confirm their place amongst Europe's elite for 2021? Beautiful Goal TV takes a look. Man City versus Borussia Dortmund. One of the more seemingly straightforward ties of the round to call, Man City versus Dortmund is perhaps more intriguing for the Erling Haaland rumours than it is for the result. Despite rumours circulating last week about his agent Mino Raiola meeting with Barcelona and Real Madrid, City are still considered favourites to land the Norwegian signature if and when he leaves Dortmund. With the news that Kun Aguero will be departing the club at the end of the season confirmed, this tie is in some ways Haaland's audition to be his successor. Not that a player of his caliber does auditions. Nonetheless, a dominant display in front of Pep could increase his value even more, and force City's hand in terms of making a move for him this summer. Aside from the Haaland narrative, it will be a moderately interesting tactical battle, with Edin Terzic sure to be looking to exploit City on the counter. The return of Kevin De Bruyne has seen City's imperious form continue, and they look almost unstoppable at present, with an embarrassment of riches in attack and midfield. Despite a tendency to leave space in behind due to overcommitting to offensive overloads, which was exposed in their recent defeat in the Manchester derby, City have a far superior midfield and will no doubt dominate possession, and will fancy their chances against the Dortmund defense that conceded 4 goals against Sevilla. Dortmund, meanwhile, will be looking to take advantage of Haaland's pace and power against Stones and Diaz, while Jadon Sancho and Gio Reyna are more than capable of causing City's fullbacks problems. Overall, despite Dortmund possessing notable attacking firepower, it is hard to see anything other than a Man City win over the two legs, due to their technical superiority all over the pitch. Unless Guardiola's propensity for left-field mad scientist tactics in the Champions League knockout rounds resurfaces, City should run out comfortable winners in this one. Score prediction: Man City to win 5-3 on aggregate. Next up, Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Arguably the tie of the round and a rematch of the 2018 Champions League final, Real Madrid versus Liverpool has all the makings of a proper European classic. Los Blancos come into this one off the back of an impressive 2-0 win against Eibar at the weekend, while Liverpool thumped a hapless Arsenal side 3-0 away at the Emirates in one of their best performances in a long time. The return of Diogo Jota has revitalized the attack, while the return of Fabinho to the midfield has provided some much-needed solidity, providing the platform for Thiago to showcase his playmaking abilities. The midfield battle will be absolutely crucial in this tie, meaning the absence of Jordan Henderson could prove to be costly for Liverpool, coming up against one of the finest midfield trios in the modern era, in Casemiro, Kroos and Modric. While the trio's form has fluctuated drastically throughout the season, they seem to have found their rhythm at just the right time for Zidane and are dominating possession once again, averaging nearly 60% per game in La Liga. If they can manage that against Liverpool and slow the tempo of the game down to their pace, it will reduce the effectiveness of Klopp's usual high-octane gegenpressing approach. Another key area will be the wide areas, where Liverpool have a significant advantage on both sides of the pitch, with Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right and Robertson and Mane on the left. While Zidane will look to exploit the spaces left in behind by the marauding fullbacks with the pace of Rodrigo and Vinicius, he will be wary of Liverpool creating 2v1 wide overloads and isolating Mendy and Lucas Vazquez, which is why Casemiro's defensive role will be vital in this one. Speaking of vital defensive contributions, as mentioned, the international break saw some notable casualties, none more so than Madrid's captain and talisman Sergio Ramos. An immense leader and presence on the pitch, the impact of his absence cannot be overstated. Rafael Varane invariably looks lost without Ramos by his side, as do Madrid as a whole. Their record in Champions League knockout games without him speaks for itself, losing 5 out of the 7 knockout games he has missed. Given that he will be out for both legs, this would appear to make Liverpool obvious favourites. But it's important to note that despite their win over Arsenal, Liverpool are still without a first-choice centre-back and will likely line up with Kabak and Nathaniel Phillips at the back. With the attacking quality Real possess and the form of Karim Benzema, who has scored 24 goals in 33 games this season, if they can control the midfield and look to create from wide, the Frenchman will fancy his chances against a makeshift defensive duo. Given the defensive absentees on both sides, this one looks likely to be a goal fest of sorts, but Madrid's experience and quality should see them come out on top. Score prediction: Real Madrid to win 6-5 on aggregate. Next up, Chelsea versus Porto. Prior to this past weekend's Premier League action, This appeared to be the most straightforward of the quarterfinal ties to call. But Chelsea's shambolic 5-2 defeat at the hands of Sam Allardyce's West Brom has somewhat thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. They had previously looked so defensively solid since Tuchel took charge, but their capitulation after Thiago Silva's red card revealed a mental fragility that Sergio Conceição's men will be looking to exploit. Yes, of course, Chelsea made some rotational changes with the upcoming quarterfinal in mind, but the manner in which they were dismantled by a below-average West Brom side will give Porto hope of causing another upset. Not that they will be lacking motivation after being riled by what they deemed to be Chelsea players' disrespectful reaction when the quarterfinal draw was made. Add to that the fact that they are in fine form and come into the first leg on the back of a 2-1 win over Santa Clara at the weekend, with the impressive Sergio Oliveira pulling the strings in midfield to great effect. This looks to be a much more competitive tie than first thought. Of course, Chelsea are still favourites and have made notable progress under Tuchel, finding a way to get the best out of the likes of Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic, Havertz and Ziyech. But with Timo Werner still faltering in front of goal, his recent miss for Germany against North Macedonia a notable example, they face a tough task of unlocking a Pepe-led Porto defence, which proved itself to be remarkably resilient in the second leg against Juventus. This one could be closer than first expected, but Chelsea should still have too much quality for this Porto side. Score prediction: Chelsea to win 4-2 on aggregate. Finally, in what could also be considered the tie of the round, the rematch of last year's final between Bayern Munich and PSG promises to be a truly riveting contest. Bayern will be without the mercurial Robert Lewandowski, with the striker having picked up a knock while on international duty for Poland, which could have a major impact on the outcome, as Lewandowski's goals has been so crucial to Bayern's success under Hansi Flick. Although they did still manage to take all 3 points against RB Leipzig this weekend, despite his absence, and still boast an impressive array of attacking talent. PSG, meanwhile, lost 2-1 to Lille in Ligue 1 at the weekend and will be without their midfield metronome Marco Verratti, which gives Bayern a massive advantage in midfield, as Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka are arguably the best midfield pivot duo in world football right now. While Paredes has sufficient quality on the ball, and either Gay or Danilo can provide defensive support to Marquinhos and Kimpembe, Verratti's absence means PSG will lack genuine creative quality from midfield, which will likely result in Neymar being deployed as a 10. This tie is littered with intriguing tactical battles all over the pitch, with Bayern sure to play the same extreme high line they did in last year's final. Despite getting the win in that game, it's worth noting that PSG squandered several fantastic chances, and but for some poor finishing, the outcome could have been very different. Bayern will still look to create from wide using overloads, with Sané cutting in on the right and Koeman or Gnabry menacing out on the left with the help of Alphonso Davies. But with no Lewandowski in the box to finish off the moves, will need to take on more responsibility themselves. Mbappe, meanwhile, will be eager to run at the likes of Boateng, Pavard and Alaba, while Di Maria will look to exploit the space behind Davies, while Neymar will look to wreak havoc behind Kimmich and Goretzka. A lot will depend on the tactical approach taken by Mauricio Pochettino, as Bayern Munich's approach is unlikely to change. If he opts for a 4-2-3-1 with Neymar as the 10, PSG could cause Bayern some real problems. It could also come down to individual quality, with both sides boasting several world-class match winners, making it almost impossible to call. But with Bayern's main marksman being out and Mbappe in scintillating form in the competition, we're going with PSG to knock out the champions. Score prediction: PSG to win 4-3 on aggregate. So there you have it, our predictions for the Champions League quarterfinals. But what do you think? Do you disagree with any of our predictions or the points we made? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button for more beautiful Goal TV content in the future. Thanks for watching, much love, take it easy, and keep enjoying the beautiful game.